Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Arizona.
Well, big crowd making its way into Chase Field tonight. A concert after the ball game. Baseball first, however, as the Arizona Diamondbacks take on the San Diego Padres. It's a Sun Devils Saturday. Hello again, everybody. I'm Greg Schulte along with Luis Gonzalez. We welcome you to Diamondbacks baseball. Time running out on the schedule. But the Diamondbacks, Gonzo, as we take a look at what's transpiring here over the last few weeks of the season, they've got some things going their way.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, they got head-to-head competition against the Dodgers and the Giants. The only problem is they got to take care of these other teams before they get to those two.
15 of their last 36 remaining against the two teams directly above them in the National League West standings. As far as tonight's ball game, Ian Kennedy taking them out against the Padres, and he's been very good, not only against the Padres in his career, but also the National League West.
He really has. There you see he's got a 5-1 record, 2.47 ERA. He's doing everything he can. We need him tonight to step up and get us a big win.
18-5 in his career against the National League West, a perfect 6-0 in his career against this San Diego Padres ball club. His mound opponent will be the left-hander, a very good athlete. Talking about Clayton Richard, who's been very good against the Diamondbacks, especially in his last four.
Clayton's been an outstanding lefty against the Diamondbacks. Something has to give. Both of these guys have done well against the opposing team, so we're looking for a good pitching matchup today.
So the Diamondbacks do have Justin Upton back in the lineup, and it's fitting. It's his 25th birthday. He debuted against his Padre ball club in San Diego back in 2007. So that's the matchup, Kennedy and Richard, Diamondbacks and Padres. When we come back, Jody Jackson will take a look at not the hitting of Paul Goldschmidt, but his Gold Glove potential. Diamondbacks and the Padres on a Sun Devil Saturday. We got it coming for you next. Stay with us. to you in part by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
The Arizona Diamondbacks continue their 10-game homestand. We bring you into Chase Field. Jody Jackson with you just outside the Diamondbacks dugout, and the D-backs looking to bounce back from a loss last night at the hands of the San Diego Padres. It was a shutout. One guy, though, that has been very steady offensively for the Diamondbacks this season is first baseman Paul Goldschmidt. We talk a lot about the fact that he has 36 doubles on the year, 18 home runs. He's hitting .293, and he's back in the cleanup spot tonight, of course. But last night, the defense was on display. Unbelievable double play, catches the line drive, and then gets the out over at first, tagging Chris Denorfia. But his defense is something that Paul really works on every single day. Kirk Gibson said he works on his athleticism, and that's from nutrition to what he does in the weight room, and then, of course, out on the field working on his range. The other thing that we've seen from Paul Goldschmidt is that he's extremely durable, making his 32nd straight start over at first base. We asked Kirk Gibson, is he going to get a day off anytime soon? He said, does he look tired to you? Now, obviously, Paul Goldschmidt, the work ethic is something that has been very strong for him. He's out there each and every day for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Stay with us when we come back. First pitch as Ian Kennedy takes the hill for the Diamondbacks in Game 2 of this 3-game set against San Diego.
Diamondbacks taking the field tonight on a Sun Devil Saturday here at Chase. Game number 2 of this 3-game weekend series with the San Diego Padres. But Black, he's got his ball club playing a lot better baseball. And let's take a look at the lineup. He's going to run out there tonight. Everett Cabrera from the 8th spot to the leadoff spot. Then Will Venable, he didn't play last night. Chase Headley, Carlos Quentin, Yasmani Grandal, Yonder Alonso, Cameron Maben, Alexi Amarista getting a start at second, and the left-hander Clayton Richard. And Arizona 4 Diamondback starting pitcher tonight, Luis, is none other than Ian Kennedy.
Yeah, there you see Ian Kennedy with a record of 11-10. Not what we expected coming out of spring training after last year's outings that he had, but nonetheless, we need him here at the late part of the season to come up strong.
So Kennedy looking for number 12 here tonight. Let's take a look at the defense behind Kennedy. It's Upton back out there in right field with Kubel and Young, Johnson, McDonald, Hill, and Goldschmidt. Montero and Kennedy forming the battery. Happy birthday, Justin Upton. He is 25 years young today. He debuted against the Padres at the age of 19 back in 2007 in San Diego. Good to see him back out there. He's been nursing that tight hamstring. And he's in the lineup and batting 5th in the order. Here we go, a night of baseball. Cabrera leading off. And he swung at the first one and fouled it back. Kennedy doesn't walk many. Only 38 on the year and 157 innings, but he did walk 5 his last time out. In fact, 8 walks in his last 2 ball games.
Well, I think for that simple fact, if you look at Kennedy's numbers this year, he's given up a lot more home runs for the fact that he has kept the ball up in the strike zone. He's more effective when he keeps it down.
Cabrera riding a 7-game hitting streak coming into action here tonight. Tim Sheeta called that a ball inside, and it's now 2-1. This is a guy you want to keep off the bases too. Cabrera's 24 for 24 in the stolen base department. Out of play. Diamondbacks last night just couldn't get anything going against Eric Stoltz of the Padre bullpen. They were shut out 5-0 the final. Only 4 hits the entire night. It was pretty good last night, and a big contributor with the bat, Gonzo. He drove in 3 of their 5 runs.
Yeah, I'm sure he slept very well last night. Well, he really didn't overpower the Diamondbacks. It's just a matter of him hitting location and getting the D-backs hitters off balance.
Well, Ian's run it full on the leadoff hitter here, Cabrera. And this Padre ball club playing a lot better baseball, believing in themselves, and they foul out of play. So Cabrera's put a good at bat here. As we start today, the National League West standings, Diamondbacks have actually already picked up a half game. They hope to make it a whole game. The Giants were beaten at AT&T Park in San Francisco this afternoon by Atlanta 7-3. So that's good news as we come on the air.
Well, and that's great news when you look up at the standings and you know that they've already played and they've lost. It's just a matter of the Diamondbacks going out there and trying to capitalize on knowing that the Giants have lost earlier.
The ginger beard man. I'm looking at Cabrera's numbers up there. 280 at bats. He has fanned 82 times, but he's followed off pitch after pitch here on this long at bat against Kennedy. 8 already, and this coming up, number 9. And I know a starting pitcher hates that to begin a ball game, a long at bat against the first hitter. That probably was ball 4 right there, but he chased it.
And what he's doing as a leadoff hitter is he's giving the guys in the dugout an opportunity to see more and more pitches from Ian Kennedy.
Well, Venable waiting. He's been waiting for a while in that on-deck circle to hit. Struck him out on the changeup. And 1 away. Nice pitch there by Kennedy, and he had Cabrera way out in front.
Kennedy by changeup there by Kennedy, down and in to get Cabrera out for the first out of the inning. Fouling off a lot of pitches and sees it down and in. Couldn't catch up to it.
It was a 10-pitch at bat. Now Will Venable, who did not play in last night's ball game, the right fielder for the Padres. He's got a 4-game hitting streak going right now. Another guy who can run. And Kennedy's actually hitting quickly.
Boy, and that's where Kennedy's effective, keeping it down at the knees. Well, I'm not a big fan of that show me pitch up high. To me, that just waste a pitch. If you're going to do that, you bounce something down, because he's more than likely to put something out in play up there.
It's to McDonald, and Kennedy with two quick, well, not necessarily two quick outs, but 2 outs here in this first inning. That 10-pitch at bat to Cabrera, but he gets Venable on 4 pitches, and there's nobody on base here for Chase Headley, which is always good news, the way this guy's been swinging the bat here in the month of August. Headley leads all of Major League Baseball with 9 homers and 26 runs batted in this month.
Whoa, got him,
and it's a high drive deep down the right field line, and it goes 1-0 San Diego. 24th home run given up now by Ian Kennedy this year, and the 22nd hit by Headley is 10th in August. Well, not only was that ball far, it was high.
Well, there you see a pitch on the inner half.
Whoa, got him, Pope.
Just through the bat head. Got it through the zone. Lefties like that ball. All they have to do is just throw that bat head at it.
Well, you know what it's like. You've been there. Have a month like Headley has had, a month like Jason Kubel has had, or a couple of months like Kubel's had. The ball just starts flying, and you just have a ton of confidence. And now 10 home runs in August. You've been there, done that.
Well, I think that the key for Kennedy, once again, he's got the ball about mid-thigh high to a left-handed hitter. And that's where he's been getting hurt a lot this whole season with the home runs.
Carlos Quentin at the plate. He's got a 6-game hitting streak. 2 quick strikes from Ian.
Well, it looks to me like that changeup's going to be his pitch today. He's thrown it well for strikes early in this ball game.
And Ian has not stepped off of that rubber. He's waited for Quentin to get back in. He's ready to go. Just waiting on the hitter. Runs it inside on Quentin, who has made a living out of getting hit by pitches in his career 15 times this year. And more often than not, this guy leads the big leagues in getting hit by a pitch. 23 times last year with the White Sox. And conversely, Kennedy has hit 10 batters this year. And there's the home runs. Blanton, Philadelphia, and the Dodgers. Mike Biner of Atlanta, and then Ian. Latos, former Padre. He went around. That's a strikeout. So Ian strikes out 2 in the inning, but Headley goes deep against him. And the Padres grab a lead here. 1-0. Diamondbacks coming to bat. Before they even come to the plate in the bottom of the first inning on a Chase Headley home run. Let's take a look at the Mazda starting lineup for the Diamondbacks tonight. We mentioned Upton back in there, hitting fifth. Young, Hill, Kubel, Goldschmidt. Two get to Upton, and then Montero, Johnson, McDonald, and Ian Kennedy. And the guy they're facing tonight is the left-hander Clayton Richard, making his 27th start. He can be awfully tough. He's given up 21 home runs.
He is. He's a tough lefty. He's a guy who was acquired in a trade in 2009 for Jake Peavy, among a lot of other players in that deal.
And off the end of the bat foul. Chris gone 4 for 19 on this homestand. Last 6 games though, 324 with the batting average. Richard is out of Lafayette, Indiana. And he's their horse now. Looking for win number 11 here tonight. You see the ERA almost twice what it is on the road compared to home. Of course, he's pitching to Petco Park, one of the more pitcher-friendly ballparks in all of baseball. He has struggled some on the road, 3-8. And he runs the count 3-2 on the Diamondback leadoff hitter. Remember, Cabrera led off the ball game, saw 10 pitches before striking out. Young's going to see his 6th coming up here. And he strikes out swinging. 1 down. Again, the Diamondbacks last night blanked on only 4 hits. Young had 2 of those hits. Only Kershaw and Hamels, again, a couple of lefties in front of him, and then Dickey, number 4. So this guy goes out there and he goes deep into a ball game.
Boy, if you look at that, it seems like the trend is to go with these young left-handers. They seem to be more durable nowadays in the major leagues.
Tyler Skaggs, Wade Miley, Patrick Corbin all seated. Ryan Wheeler behind them. Shallow right field to play for Will Venable. 2 out. Is that going to come and play it all this time? It doesn't really look like Venable's going to have too much of a problem, does it?
No, I don't think it bothers too much the right fielder. I think it bothers more the fans that you see there. So they have to adjust and adapt. I'm sure they're looking for the next 30 minutes for that sun to go down.
Kubel takes the ball outside. Kubel, Goldschmidt, and Montero last night. The 3, 4, and 5 hitters. We take a look at that shift on with Jace at the plate. He fouls one. Kubel went 0 for 4. Goldschmidt was 0 for 3 with a walk, and Montero went 0 for 4. But again, the Diamondbacks had only 4 hits total in the ballgame. Hill was 0 for 4. Now facing another lefty tonight. Out of play. Every time a Diamondback player hits a home run this season, Fulton Homes will donate $150 to the Central Arizona Mountain Rescue Association. Diamondbacks, they get a home run, they usually play pretty well. That's popped up. Richard calls for it, the pitcher, and he's going to make the catch. Well, with Headley, the third baseman, playing towards short, he had a long way to come in, and Richard just handled it himself. He's got an easy first inning. Padres on top. San Diego comes to bat here on the second against Ian Kennedy. 5, 6, and 7 in the order. Starting was Yasmani, Grandal, their catcher. And Ian gets ahead of him. Kennedy threw 20 pitches in that first inning, half of those to the leadoff hitter, Cabrera, who ended up striking out. He got a pretty good change working here tonight. Off speed pitch. Way out in front was Grandal on that one. Way outside.
And Ian Kennedy's getting ahead on those first pitch strikes on hitters. He's faced 5 hitters, first pitch strikes on 5 of them. So it's just a matter of putting them away when he gets that opportunity.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Well, this is kind of matching up your best against their best against each other's team here tonight. We take a look at this punch out. Just blew it right by him. Kennedy and Richard, though, I mean, both these guys, something's got to give here. 4-0 and 6-0.
Yeah, it really does. You know, more times than not, both these guys probably face into a no decision the way they've both been throwing against each other. So it's going to be interesting today.
Alonso a swing and a miss.
The Padres jumped out to 1-0 lead early, so they definitely have the upper hand right now.
Kennedy has started out with a strikeout pitch here. 3 of his 4 outs via the K. That's trouble for Kubo coming over. Now gets there and makes the grab to retire Alonso for out number 2. He had a long way to go. The ball is hit high in the air.
Center fielder number 24.
You know, Greg, aside from Cabrera, the leadoff hitter, everybody seems to be, you know, not taking too many pitches. Everybody's hacking and going up there, seeing the first good one they can get in the strike zone. They're taking a swing at it.
I think what we said about Ian not walking too many. They know he wants to get ahead in the count, so they see something to their liking. They're wailing at it. Maben has gotten a lot better of late. He really had a rough start to his season. He's riding a 5-game hitting streak. Hit .571 over that stretch. Only 3 for 12 though against Ian with 5 punch-outs. He's going to have an easy inning. 1, 2, 3. Strikeout, pop fly, ground out. Goldschmidt will lead it off for the Diamondbacks in the second. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. D-backs were easy against Clayton Richard in the first inning. 1, 2, 3. Only needed a dozen pitches. Goldschmidt at the plate. Diamondbacks, for whatever reason right now, they're just struggling big time against lefties. They had a stretch where they were really pounding them, but not of late. Goldschmidt's seasonal numbers right there.
I think if you look at the whole team overall, Goldie's the only guy that really sees a lot of pitches. I mean, everybody else is going up there. The first fastball they get or something close to the zone, they're taking swings at it.
And you see 200 at bats against left-handers. Diamondbacks have had only 33 hits. But Goldschmidt ranks among the NL leaders in against lefties in extra base hits, second in doubles, first in extra base hits, 29 of them. Taking all the way on 3-0.
That's an unbelievable stat considering how well the Diamondbacks used to hit against left-handers.
He draws a walk, but his numbers against lefties just been outstanding since about mid-May. Now Upton will bat on his birthday here, just sitting out a few ball games with a base runner.
Well, here's where Justin's got to be a little selective now. Richard just walked Goldschmidt. He's going to try to want to get ahead here. Now you got to look for something to drive in the zone.
And he does. Look at that ball fly out there to the 4-13 mark. And it bounces away. Here comes Goldschmidt. Upton turning second, heading for third. Matt Williams waving him. Here he comes. Here comes the throw. No throw. Inside the park, grand slam. Justin Upton. It's a Fulton home run. Another $150 going to Central Arizona Mountain Rescue Association. As soon as he saw that ball ricochet, I think he probably would have run through Matt Williams' stop sign if he'd have put one up.
He put it in a different gear, didn't he? Happy birthday, Justin Upton, right there.
Second for the Diamondbacks here in 2012. Roberts had one earlier this year. And that is the 9th inside the park home run in team history.
Boy, nice swing by Just Upton. I think it just hit right in that corner. Perfect spot. Ricochet just away from Cameron Maben. Justin was off to the races after that.
And there's a ground ball to first. Andrew Alonso will take it to the bag. Look at Justin turn on the afterburners. Didn't look like there was any problem with that hamstring, did it?
Well, that hammy feels pretty good when you hit a ball like that.
There's a strike. Well, you hit one back on July 28th of 2002 against the Padres against Brett Tomko. Where'd you hit it?
I think it was to center field. The center fielder dove and tripped about 4 times. I didn't look that easy running around the bases. I know I had to work for mine a little harder.
Yeah, he was flying. That slipped it far right side. Alonso over, but he can't quite get there. Took a little different pattern on that baseball. Came close, but nothing doing. Now it's one of the most exciting plays in all of baseball, that inside the Parker. Cabrera, once he got the ball, he knew he had no shot at throwing him out.
Boy, and actually kind of rejuvenated the fans and our dugout. I mean, he got in that dugout. Everybody was excited when they got in there.
Well, the Diamondbacks had not scored in 14 innings. Johnson gets out of the way. So Upton on his return to the lineup. A home run, it's 10th, and an inside the Parker.
When Justin did exactly what he had to do. Richard threw some wide ones to Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt worked the walk, and you know the pitcher's going to want to regroup and come right back at you. You just got to look for one pitch in one spot, and he got it. He didn't miss it.
Well, he hit it with authority. That's the biggest thing.
And we hadn't seen that in a while from him.
I mean, he lined that ball. It was heading right to the 413 mark out there in right center field. He came into this ball game also with good numbers against Clayton Richard. He's now 6 for 16 with 4 career home runs against him. Johnson is short. Cabrera just did get him, and Johnson goes down in a heap as he crosses the bag. Looks like he's okay. He was hustling, trying to stretch it out.
He was trying to get there. Nice play by Cabrera. He just kind of tripped over the front edge of the bag. Sure, it'll take a little grief from some of the guys on the dugout.
John McDonald now with 2 down. Back to the box. Richard to first. But excitement. A walk to Goldschmidt and an inside the park home run for Justin Upton. And that's put the Diamondbacks on top here, 2-1. So Justin Upton is 10th of the year, and it's an inside the park home run. It's put his club, the Diamondbacks, on top of the Padres 2-1. And Ian Kennedy now. Important for Ian to put up a goose egg here. Let's see Amarista with a strike call. Ian 29 pitches through 2 innings, 20 of those in the first inning. And half of that 20 to one batter. Swing and a miss. Another one of these little guys. Gonzo is trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark.
They always want to show the guys in the middle of the order they got some power.
He has hit 5 home runs. Amarista, but he's not going to do anything swinging at those pitches. Kennedy's recorded his 4th strikeout. Third inning brought to you by Miller Lite. Visit local retailers and text your own trip to the Miller Taste team at 620-620. That's for your chance to win one of 3 interdivision rival flyweight trips this summer. Now the pitcher, Clayton Richard. He's a big guy. He can swing like that.
Yeah, he doesn't quite look as hitter as Stoltz did yesterday at the plate.
5 for 55 with 34 strikeouts. Strike 2. He was Mr. Baseball and Mr. Football at the University of Michigan, Richard. Excuse me, Mr. Indiana. He played at the University of Michigan, where he was a backup quarterback in 2004 and gave up football, concentrated on baseball. He strikes out. Kennedy's on a roll with 5 strikeouts. Well, you don't think these fans were pulling for Justin to get the inside the park home run? Watch the fans. Look at everybody. Go, go. That's a good shot right there.
Well, that's great camera work, guys. That's the game within the game, isn't it? The fans.
Cabrera takes a strike. Cabrera at a 10-pitch at bat to start the ball game, struck out. Oh. Snaps one off. 0-2.
Boy, I tell you, him and Miggy are on the same page right now. Miggy's been calling a lot of elevated strikes with 2 strikes in the count. He must feel like he's got a little bit of extra oomph on his strike, on his fastball today.
Kennedy with the 5 strikeouts. His career high is 12. He recorded 12 on June 5th this year against Colorado. He also struck out a dozen Padres back in August of 2010 in San Diego. It's a good pitch right there. Just knocked him off the plate. Need more of that. 2-2.
And Cabrera's the guy last at bat that gave him the tough time up there, throwing a lot of pitches, and got him out on a changeup.
Another 3-2 count on him.
Tried to go with a breaking ball there.
There we go. The foul balls again. And blistered into the seats.
Well, I think what Cabrera's doing is exactly what they want Cameron Maybin to do in the future. I mean, if you look up and down that lineup for the Padres, Maybin is the guy who they want eventually to be the leadoff. And he was doing that earlier in the season. He's just developing still and still learning the game.
This is going to be the 8th pitch coming in this bat to Cabrera. He's already seen 17 pitches in 2 plate appearances against Ian Kennedy. He knows everything Ian's got.
Well, that's making your pitcher work out there. Can't ask for anything more from your leadoff hitter.
And he ended up walking him here. So Kennedy won the first AB, and Cabrera wins this one. First walk for Kennedy on the night. Tying run on base with 2 down. And again, Cabrera, a base stealer. 24 for 24. Kennedy does a pretty good job of holding runners. 4 stolen bases against him, and 1 caught stealing.
Well, I'm sure with 2 outs here, they're going to try to get him in scoring position, especially with Venable up at the plate.
Slide step that time. Strike 1.
Well, sooner or later, some of these guys from the Padres are going to be going up their first ball swing, and they know he's been effective. That first pitch strike.
Here's where the game will slow down when speed gets on the bases and the Diamondbacks hold that runner. And if you were with us in the doubleheader on Wednesday, you'll recall that both starters, Skaggs and Miley, each recorded a pickoff. The Diamondbacks first in catching runners, and the Padres second in stealing bases. And now he's got him 0-2 in the count. Venable.
And what Ian Kennedy's doing is he's changing his looks over to first base, and what that means, he's delaying a little bit. Sometimes he's going a little bit quicker, and what that does is it disrupts the timing of the runner out there. He's trying to get a pattern on Ian Kennedy to see when he can take off and get a good jump. So Ian will come set sometimes and throw over early. He'll come set and hold a count there for a couple seconds and then throw over.
This is the 11th man to bat in the ball game against Ian Kennedy, and he has had an 0-2 count 7 times already.
And the problem is he's already up to over 45 pitches in this game.
Oh, that's due all to Cabrera. He's edging further and further away from that bag. Takes off, pitches high, the throw's good, and they got him. First time he'd been caught all year. Miguel Montero nails Cabrera trying to steal, so make it 24 out of 25. Good things happening here early for the Diamondbacks. Inside the park homer, and this caught stealing, and they're up 2-1.
He said it is perfect for us. We want to win these games in our division. I enjoy games where you can directly impact the standings. We don't have to look at the scoreboard because we're doing it on the field. We enjoy pressure situations. And Chris went on to say that he feels like this team has a little bit more adrenaline in those situations, and hopefully you pick your game up. That's what this team is looking for, guys. Of course, here during this homestand against San Diego, and then on the road trip that is coming up that will be all NL West. Guys.
All right, thank you, Jody. And time is of the essence. 36 left, including tonight.
See why talked about it. They're going to get it.
Yep. 30 of the last 36 against the division. Reds are coming in for 3, and then the Cubs late in here for 3. But you saw that number there, 22 against teams over 500. The Diamondbacks need to stop a little skid here against San Diego. Kennedy eyed Chopper down to third to 5. Ian only 2 hits this year, but he's got 5 runs batted in, and he's drawn 9 walks on the season. And the bat lies there. Grandal did not pick it up for him. Kennedy exerted a little bit more energy.
Well, he's not going to pick it up. He struck him out his first time up, so.
3-2. He wouldn't walk the pitcher, would he?
Certainly wouldn't think so, but we'll take it if he does.
No, he's going to send it back up the middle. Even though they have the hit and the walk. Leads her right back up from where she came. Well, let's take a look at our key to the game, brought to you by Kia Motors. Pressure the Padres.
Exactly, just what we did earlier in the game in the second inning. Put some pressure on him. Goldie worked a walk. Nice base hit by inside the park by Upton. Just get on him early. You got to put some pressure on those guys. Get runners on base.
Chris Young struck out against Richard first time up. So Kennedy with his 3rd hit of the season. Hit into right center. Maben going back. Also Venable, and Venable makes the catch with Maben sliding underneath him. And Kennedy retreats to first base.
Second baseman.
He's Maben calling the ball, trying to slide and make the play. Usually the center fielder takes command out there. He's the quarterback of the outfield.
Venable was the guy who caught the ball, though. And Chris's problem with that, he hit it well, but he hit it a little bit too high, and that allowed the outfielders to get to it. Boy, Hill got around on that one a bit too early. And fly to right his first time up. Earned 2 home runs shy of 20 on the year. He could get to 20 homers and 60 RBIs with one swing of his bat. So he hits one down to third, and Hadley turns it into a 5-4-3 around the horn double play. So Kennedy a hit, and he's left. And the Diamondbacks on top 2-1 here.
earlier about Justin Upton's birthday today. We know that he hit an inside the park home run. Well, I'm alongside another very special person here at Chase Field today. Verla Morris turns 100 today. She's surrounded by her family. We see the signs here. Verla, how's your day going so far?
Fine. Full of surprises about coming to here, you know, to see this. First time I've ever been in a big park like this. First time I've ever seen a big game. First time I've seen D-backs play.
Well, we're glad you're here, and happy birthday to you. And I know the last time you saw a baseball game, when was that exactly?
Well, it was back in Illinois in St. Louis. And I'm not sure if I was 16 years old or not, something like that. I went to St. Louis, and our hostess took us to see the game. And it was at the big baseball park. I don't even know what the stadium was called. But we did see Babe Ruth knock a home run.
Unbelievable.
It is unbelievable now. And someone told me, says, did you know that that was back when they didn't allow colored folks to play? And I had no idea. Doesn't make any difference to me.
80 plus years ago, and here you are back at a baseball game.
Yeah, that's right.
So Babe Ruth was the last player that she saw hit a home run. Now you have Justin Upton with the inside the park home run. But what does it mean to you to have your family surrounding you today? What's been the best part of your birthday here, turning 100?
Oh, well, it is having my family around me. And they took me out to dinner on Sunday at the Olive Garden, and we had so much fun. Everybody just visited and had fun. And so I've just been celebrating my birthday for several days. And you'd think that I'd be 110 by now by the many birthdays I've celebrated.
Well, you are just a beautiful lady. And I want to ask you, what is the secret to your health and longevity?
Well, everybody expects me to come up with some good answer, you know. But I'll tell you what it is. It's just in the genes. That's all it is. Because my grandmother lived to be 99. And my aunt lived to be my grandmother lived to be 97, and my aunt lived to be 99. And she had a cousin, my grandmother had a cousin that lived to be 103. So everybody says, oh, Verla, you've got to live to be 105 at least.
Well, that is fantastic. Thank you so much for talking to us today, and enjoy your birthday, Verla.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, guys, we'll send it back up to your family. They're just so glad to be spending this day with her.
All right, thank you, Jody. How about that? She is sharp. Saw Babe Ruth play. How about that?
That's incredible.
Wow. 100 years old. Think about that, 1912. Well, here's another hitter, Gonzo, that Ian Caddy having trouble putting away. A lot of foul pitches here from a left-handed hitting. Will Venable was at the plate when Cabrera was caught stealing to end the third inning. And a little blooper that's going to be caught by Hill, with McDonald running in behind him. That was a 9-pitch at bat right there. Nice play by Aaron.
Third baseman Chase Headley.
McDonald and Aaron Hill going right at each other, and verbal commands out there. He sees Hill calling for it and gets out of the way.
Those two, of course, spent a lot of time together in Toronto over the years, so they know one another pretty well. Chase Headley homer to the first pitch he saw from Kennedy to give the Padres a 1-0 lead in the first inning. Well, this is the one guy in the lineup right now that you try and be careful with. He's got those home runs flying. Good month of August. Good season, 3-0.
And Chase always looks like he's ready to hit when he goes up to the plate. Of course, you always feel good when you're ahead in the count like he's been.
Took a strike. He's got the park named after him, right? Fouled it back. Headley is third in the league in walks with 66. Agla leads with 78. Then David Wright 72. Kubel and Young. Who wants it? Young. Time now for a Nissan textbook question. I'm sure you've heard by now the big trade that was pulled off between the Dodgers and the Red Sox. Will the Dodgers trade with Boston put them over the top for the National League West? And of course, I picked up a boatload of players, a lot of veterans. Gonzalez, Crawford, Punto, and Beckett. Crawford hurt. James Loney, the one name you know on the list that's heading to Boston. It's skied way back and looks up, and it is gone. A home run for Carlos Quentin to tie the ball game. Kennedy, another home run given up. 2 in this one, both solo home runs, now 25 on the year.
We talked about him going right after hitters. There you see a first pitch. Fastball, jumped right on it.
So both home runs coming on the first pitch, Headley, and now Quentin. Strength to Grandal. We understand too that Adrian Gonzalez is in the lineup batting cleanup tonight for the Dodgers when that game starts a little later. Playing Miami. Ball 2 strikes on the hitter. The Padres catcher Grandal.
There's that changeup. He's got his fastball working well today, but he's got to be more effective throwing that changeup.
Whoa, the bat. Fortunately, it stayed on the playing field and hit the protective screen area. Man. Cameraman Toby, you okay over there?
And Sweeney, their sideline reporter.
Yep, got the thumbs up. That's scary, though. You see that bat flying around. It's hit hard. Nice play, Hill. Wow. Throws him out. Aaron Hill took a hit away from Grandal with a nice sliding backhanded stab. And the Padres tie it on a home run by Quentin. Brought to you in part by Gila River. Gila River Casinos, proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Mazda, we believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. Bottom of the fourth inning rolls around here. And Carlos Quentin's solo home run with 2 outs in the fourth inning off Ian Kennedy. Out of this game. Diamondbacks going to send up 3, 4, and 5 of the order. Kubel, Goldschmidt, and Upton against Clayton Richard. We got the shift on, although Hadley playing more toward third instead of the shortstop spot that we usually see him go over, and now he's going to go back over to the short.
Yeah, he moves over now with a 2 balls and no strikes count. I think it was because he didn't want to get jammed.
Yeah, I think he got right. Nice play there by Amarista. 1 away.
Nice swing by Kubel on a 2-0 count. Unfortunately, they got the shift on him. Nice play right there.
Amarista, former member of the Angels. Padres picked him up in a deal. Goldschmidt walked in front of the Upton inside the park home run in the second.
Well, I tell you, Greg, if you look at the Padres, the way they've played defense the last 2 days, it seems like they're, you know, when they have those scouting meetings of how they're going to play certain guys, they've been dead on every one of these guys.
Sure has. Soft liner to second. 2 quick outs here.
You sit in those meetings, the first game of a 3 or 4 game series, and the pitchers are usually in one room, the position players are in another, the defensive guys, and you talk about how you're going to pitch a certain player, where you want guys to position themselves. You know, it's always great when you got a guy like Schilling, how he would tell you how he wants to play a certain guy, where he wants you to play. If you get burned out there, it's his fault. But more times than not, when you have those meetings, sometimes pitchers can't hit their location. These guys seem to have been on the same page first 2 nights.
It's worked out a few times for him. And in this inning alone with Kubel. Upton into center. They even count on, and Richards got it very easy. 1, 2, 3, 4th inning. And Kennedy back to work in a tie game. The Padres, and inside the park home run for the birthday boy of the Diamondbacks, Justin Upton, number 25 there. AT&T trivia question: name the 5 Padres with the most consecutive successful stolen bases all time. Okay, think about that one. Alonso swinging at the first pitch. What a surprise, right? How about those 2 guys? Either one of those guys do it? No. I'm going to throw a name out from way back. How about Enzo Hernandez? Hey, how about that? I haven't got a book open or anything.
What do we need? 5, you said?
Yeah. A little conversation going on here.
About Templeton.
Gary Templeton. Well, after a strike thrown to Alonso, Montero and Ian Kennedy had a brief conversation. How about Jerry Turner? Fouled out of play. Alonso's been swinging a hot bat against the Diamondbacks this season here at Chase Field. 6 for his last 14, 3 of those extra base hits. And now can get back there. Knight's going to sail out of here. 3 solo home runs off Ian Kennedy tonight. And on those 3 solo home runs, it's now a 3-2 Padres lead. Wow. That's 26 home runs for Ian now giving up on the season.
Just a little cement mixer breaking ball. Didn't have a lot of spin to it.
Ball came back flat on the field, and Chris Johnson had to retrieve it. Alonso has hit his 7th of the year. Runs Maben off the plate. How about Cameron Maben, one of our answers? Okay, we'll let everybody else think about the rest of them.
About Finley.
I'll go fouling out of play.
I should go ahead and let Greg do the rest of this trivia.
Yeah. This is the box score. Only 3 hits that they have all left the ballpark, all solo home runs. 2 on the first pitch. Alonso worked the count a little bit. He was actually behind the count when he hit the home run. So Kennedy, who didn't really have much of a problem with the long ball last year in all of his starts, it's been a major problem for him here in 2012. Down to third. Johnson with a throw to get Maben. Got in on him there, and sounded like the bat broke. Let me see, 19 total last year, already 7 more this year, and several more starts coming up for Ian.
Yeah, we still got a month to go in the season.
And it's the second time that Kennedy has given up 3 home runs in a ball game. Of course, the last time was to one guy, Ike Davis of the Mets, on July 28th here at Chase Field. But the Diamondbacks won that game 6-3. Bilbo going back and over the shoulder, a nice running catch off the bat of Alexi Amarista.
Well, if you're going to find a silver lining, you like to give up home runs as solo shots if you're going to do that, but it's all up to your offense to try to score some runs. Clayton Richards 0 for 1 on the day.
Let's take a look at our high-speed pitch, brought to you by CenturyLink. 92-93. The 2 starters here tonight. Just taking a cut at it. I mentioned Richard played both football and baseball in high school and college. He strikes out. Kennedy gets his 6th of the night, but for the 3rd time of this ball game, he gives up a solo home run. This one to Alonso, and it's put the Padres up on top. Eddie George enjoying Heather Harrington will get you ready for kickoff. Number 1 ranked USC takes their first step on the road to a national championship. They'll take on Hawaii. The premiere of college football Saturday next week at 4 p.m. Pacific, only on Fox. Time of the year, baseball is getting down to the nitty-gritty, getting ready for the postseason. A lot of excitement. Football starting up. Kids back in school. A lot going on. Diamondbacks need to get something going on here against Clayton Richard. And now down a run after leading 2-1. Turner Johnson and McDonald this inning. Richard Gonzo in his senior year in high school back in Lafayette, Indiana, was 11-0 with an 0.08 ERA. Not 0.80, 0.08. That is domination.
Kind of makes you wonder who they were playing, because at least sometimes you run into somebody who will score a run off you.
In football, in his high school career, he threw for 92 touchdowns and almost 11,000 yards. Chose baseball, and he's had a pretty good career so far.
Well, after hearing that ERA, I thought you were talking about in one season.
Stay fair down there. It is. And it bounces into the bullpen. A double for Miggy. Oh, he just got it fair down the line. Good start to the inning.
Great start of the inning. 18th double for Miguel Montero. Just kind of takes it out of the mitt, going the opposite way to left field, just inside the foul line. So
good start. Now Johnson, McDonald, and Kennedy with a chance to get this one even. CJ, first 8 games for the Diamondbacks, he was on fire. 5 home runs, 15 runs batted in. He fouls one out of play, but his last 14, no extra base hits.
Yikes.
Only 7 for 41. So after a hot start, he's cooled down some. Those are his season numbers between the Diamondbacks and the Astros. In the hole 0-2. He's got to get that runner over to third here. Somehow, some way, at least in this at bat.
Well, you're exactly right. Right here with 2 strikes, he just needs to spread out and just try to put the ball in play, try to move that runner over.
should. Valuable back catch. There's Miggy tagging. He will make it into third base. So good AB there by Chris Johnson, moving that runner to third with one down.
Yeah, nice job by Chris. Although you didn't get a base hit like you wanted to earlier in that bat, he did exactly what he had to do, was get the runner over. With one out now in the inning, gives the opportunity to McDonald to try to get him in.
And Richard now will go against Johnny Mack, who tapped back to the mound his first time up. So with the pitcher next and a one-run Padre lead, they move the infield up here. McDonald's driven in 12 on the season.
Yeah, they don't want to give away the free run. They're going to play the infield halfway just in case if he hits a ground ball.
And even though Kennedy had a hit his first time up, you don't want to leave it up to the pitcher in this situation. Down a run. Ball and a strike.
Boy, and this is where Mack has to clutch up for the team right here and get this runner in without leaving it up to Ian Kennedy.
Down to third. Nice play. Headley got to come to the plate. They got Montero cutting the run down. He will be tagged. There's a throw down to second, and McDonald is out there. Well, things started out well for the Diamondbacks tonight, but right now not so well. That ends up a double play to end the inning. And it's still 3-2 Padres. Everett Cabrera was going to lead off here in the sixth inning against Ian Kennedy. He was caught stealing for the first time this season. He was 24 for 24, but Montero nailed him to end the third inning. 24 out of 25 now. And he's out of there. But he'll lead off here. Ironically, it was the first caught stealing by a Diamondback catcher since July 22nd. Against the Astros, and the guy they caught, Chris Johnson. He was still a member of the Houston Astros at that time. Diamondbacks still with the fewest stolen bases against in the major leagues. Only 39, and the best caught stealing percentage in all of baseball at 47%.
Well, I tell you, and that was a great throw by Miggy.
Cabrera showed bunt, didn't offer. It was a lousy way to end the last half inning.
Boy, a tough break for the Diamondbacks. McDonald hit a bullet down the third base line. Nice play by Headley.
And they turned it into 2 outs. Montero caught in a rundown, and then McDonald trying to get to second. Headley put the throw right there, and he was tagged out.
Well, McDonald did a good job of trying to get to second. Unfortunately, Headley was on it quick and made the quick tag and was aware to throw to second base, knowing that the runner was going to try to get to the scoring position.
I think you would have liked to have tried to stay in the rundown just a little longer.
You're exactly right, but Headley cut that angle off and just came running in. Made it a short throw. Well, I tell you, the more you see Chase Headley play for these Padres, you realize why there was a lot of teams after him. And that asking price for the Padres just kept getting higher and higher. I mean, they wanted the sky's the limit on this guy.
There's a strike. So this is going to be the 6th pitch of this at bat for Cabrera. He'd already seen 17 of the first 2, 10 of the first at bat, 7 in the second. Yeah, the bulk of his pitches thrown in this ball game have been to this guy right here. And he walks him for the second time, but that's not good because that's a leadoff walk to start the inning. Up until this season, the Diamondbacks have really dominated this Padres ball club, especially here in Phoenix. Padres swept their first ever series here earlier back in July. And they beat the Diamondbacks last night, and they're causing them fits here tonight. There's a bunt. It's a good one. Uh-oh, trouble here. The flip. Hill got over there in time just at the last second. Well, they worked that one okay, and they did get the out. But Venable moves the runner.
Well, nice job by Hill just to get over. It's kind of one of those in-between balls. Goldie was a little indecisive of going over. Hill just beats Venable to the bag.
Boy, Hill's been so good defensively for the Diamondbacks, and he was on a full sprint, and that thing was close right there. It'll go 3-4 on the sacrifice bunt. And now here is Headley. Over to the first pitch he saw in the first inning. He's given up 3 long balls tonight. Now think about the Padres in winning their last 5 games here at Chase Field. It's not like they've been low scoring games. I mean, they have pounded on the Diamondbacks. Look at that, 35-19. It's a ball club that's had a lot of problems scoring runs in the past. That's a big insurance run the Padres would like to pick up out there at second base, represented by the speedy Everth Cabrera.
Oh, and he's fallen behind Chase Headley 2-0. Well, here's the first homer to Headley, up in the zone, a little up and in, about thigh high. Here's Quentin's pitch, belt high. And Yadier Alonso. If you look at all 3 of those pitches, they're about belt high. And when Ian Kennedy's effective, that ball's sinking. The middle of the plate just sinking down about shin high. So, I mean, that's been Ian's problem the whole season. He hasn't been able to get that movement on that fastball. And those pitches this year that are staying up last year were sinking in the strike zone.
21-4. Headley is really right with runners in scoring position this month. Got a guy right there right now at second base. And a walk. And Kennedy now has walked 3 in the ball game. Well, good times as always out at Ramtrucks.tv pool. every night. We give you the shot every night. It is packed out there. And that'd be a good cut for you right there. Good look for you, Gonzo. What do you think?
I don't think my wife and kids will let me in the house if I show up with one of those.
All right. Kennedy officially in trouble here with 2 on and 1 out of the inning with Carlos Quinn at the plate. He hit one of those home runs we just showed you. Struck out the other time against Ian. Ian would love a double play ball here.
Quinn's an aggressive hitter. He likes to swing early in the count.
Or get hit by a pitch, which he just did there. And he'll slowly walk to first. Right in the middle of the back.
Well, he's done that before in his career many a time, so it's not the first time he's gotten hit.
Well, since 2009, 74 times, which is the most in all of baseball. Chase Utley is second at 61.
Well, we've got a coach in our dugout that did it pretty.
Don Baylor.
A lot of times in his career.
There's Don. Charles Nagy's gone to the mound for a visit here. Well, look at this inning. What's happened with Kennedy? Doesn't walk anybody, really. He's walked 2 in this inning, and he's hit a batter. They hit batter. His 11th hit batter of the season. 16th time that Quentin's been hit by a pitch. Ron Black's out checking on him, making sure he's okay, along with the team trainer. You get hit that often by a pitch. You wonder what kind of a toll that'll take on you over the course of a career.
And Quentin's a guy that the Padres have tried to keep in the lineup, and he's had injuries, multiple injuries in the last 2 or 3 years of his career.
They just signed him into a new deal. All right. Here's Yasmani Grandal, the switch hitting catcher, with the sacks full. Now Kennedy in a heap of trouble here in the 6th, trying to keep this a 1-run game. And he gets a strike in. Grandal tonight has struck out and grounded his second. Kennedy would take either one of those right now.
I'll tell you what we will take is a ground ball to the second baseman if we can get a double play out of it.
Matt Albert's up in the pen, loosening. Big swing and a miss. Again, the base runner's on there without a hit. 2 walks and a hit batter. There's 2 walk, 1 hit. Good job there by Grandal to stay alive at the plate.
Yeah, and that was just a defensive swing. That was an emergency hack. We just call that when you're not too sure. You just throw the bat out there and hope that you can make contact to foul the pitch off, and he did exactly that.
Kennedy scooting in on 100 pitches now in the night.
Well, this
made him work.
Yeah, this is what we like to call the money pitch right here. It's 2-2. You don't want to go 3-2. You want to try to get him right here in the count.
Well, just not the same Ian Kennedy we saw in 2011. He's running full now. And that pitch is way out of the zone. Cabrera, along with Headley and Quinn, the base runners. Padres trying to add to a 1-run lead here in the 6th. It's going to get out of play.
Well, as a hitter, you know that he's got no place to put you, so he's got to come right after you.
So all the pressure is on Ian Kennedy here.
See if Ian trusts any of his other stuff. If not, the hitter's going to be looking dead red. Looking for that fastball.
He walked him, walks in a run.
He went with a changeup.
Wow. 3 walks in the inning plus a hit batter. And now the lead goes up to 2. You can't defense that. There's no way your fielders can help you out. Grandal gets a real easy RBI. The inning continues now for Alonso, who has a home run in this ball game. And a base hit to right field. That's going to score 1. Here comes the throw to the plate, and safe is Quentin. And it's now a 6-2 Padre lead. They're up by 4. That's the first hit of this inning. And another Padre who jumped on the first pitch.
Yeah, and Alonso's not the guy you wanted to see at the plate. He was swinging the bat good yesterday. Had a home run already in today's game.
Well, that's it for Kennedy. He's out of there. Another tough night. And for Ian, a rare tough night against the ball club he's dominated in his career, the Padres. So it's a 4-run lead. We'll come back.
And get home safe. With great beer comes great responsibility.
3 in the inning for the Padres, and they're now up 6-2 in this ballgame. This Wednesday's game against the Reds is an afternoon game. First pitch 12:40, which means you can take advantage of discounted matinee pricing. Get a discount on upper and lower level seating areas for this Wednesday's game simply by calling 602-514-8400 or purchase online at dbacks.com/matinee. Matt Albers comes on. He's in trouble here, first and second. Still only 1 out. Cameron Maben to the plate. And a 4-run Padres lead. Maben foul. You think how this inning's gone, Gonzo, and you got a walk to Cabrera, sacrifice bunt, Headley walks, Quentin hit by a pitch to load him up. Then Ian walks Grandal on a 3-2 pitch to force in a run. And Alonso swings on the first one, gets a 2-run single. So Alonso's driven in 3 for the Padres tonight.
Well, and to me, the big pitch was the 3-2 changeup, where you desperately need to throw a strike there, and You know, earlier in the game, you can afford to throw that changeup when you don't have runners on base, but man, you got to go right after that guy with a fastball and challenge him.
Kennedy coming in here, 9 career starts against San Diego, is 6-0 with a 2.34 ERA. And they've got him out of there now. And the bullpen has to take over in the 6th inning. And strike.
Well, that was a generous strike.
Maybe didn't think it was. Strike.
I think Tim Sheeta's seen a lot of pitches this inning. He wants to get this thing rolling.
Kubel going over. And get under it. Make the catch on his return. Out number 2. You know, the other thing I was thinking on that base hit by Alonso with Quentin the runner at second, he wasn't too happy about getting hit by a pitch anyway. If that play's going to be close at the plate. But it was throws up the line a little bit from Upton. And Miggy tried to make a sweep tag, didn't get him. Now 2 down. Almers gets the first man he faces. Here's Amarista.
Well, I tell you, we had that opportunity in the 5th. Couldn't get that run in. They come right back and score 3 in the top of the 6th. It's just missed opportunities for the D-backs. Greg, it doesn't get any easier after this series, because the Reds are going to come in here and they're going to want to try to send a message.
They are rolling. Throw back to second. They're going to get him. Out. Montero nailed him. Grandal got a little careless out there. And Miggy a perfect throw to Johnny Mack. And that'll end the inning. Perfect throw by Montero. Well, Blaine Richard now has got some wiggle room. 6-2 lead. Looking for his 11th win of the season tonight. And he's going to face a pinch hitter immediately here to start this bottom of the 6th inning. And it's going to be Gerardo Parra. The Diamondbacks here, Luis, you just got to start scraping up some runs, getting some guys on base and getting them in.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You got to try to get in that bullpen as quick as you can. These starters for the Padres have done a fantastic job against us yesterday and today once again.
Richard has given up a total of 3 hits, 2-run homer, and inside the park home run by Justin Upton.
That's not a good sign when you show the opponent's bullpen and they're out there lounging around having just a relaxing time. You'd like to see them up, moving around, working.
Strike. Into left center field. That's a good way to start the inning for Parr. Extra bases. Maybe to play, get it back in. Parr leadoff double, his 18th 2-base hit of the year.
Boy, nice swing by Parr, coming off the bench, doing exactly what he needs to do, is hit a ball left center field gap for a double. Man, how valuable is this guy? Everybody talked about he was going to lose some playing time with Kubel coming over. I still think he needs to play every single day if they could find a spot for him out there.
Now you got the top of the order, and Young hits it to pretty deep center. Back goes Maben in front of the wall. Makes the catch. Parr's got time to tag. He'll head on to third. Well, the Padres will take that. They get the out of the deep fly to center by Chris Young.
A nice base running by Parr. He gets a little over halfway, sees that the ball's going to be caught, goes back and tags, makes it over to third easy.
And now Aaron Hill will have a chance to cut into this lead a little bit. Aaron's 0 for 2 tonight. And this time hit into a 5-4-3 double play. Anytime the Diamondbacks score 6 or more, Taco Bell gives away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 p.m. the following day. Participating locations. 1-2. Hill has really not had a real good look-see at Clayton Richard tonight.
Yeah, he just doesn't look comfortable up there. This is another situation where we got to try to get that run in. Less than 2 outs.
Remember, the Diamondbacks got a leadoff double by Montero to start the 5th inning. He didn't score. And Hill strikes out here for the 2nd out. Wow. And now it's leaving it up to Kubel, a left-handed hitter against a left-handed pitcher.
There's a nice breaking ball down out of the strike zone. Richard's been able to get ahead in the count. And when you're ahead in the count, you can 0-2 count. You're able to throw a couple pitches out of the zone and try to get those hitters to chase, and he did exactly that with Hill.
So back-to-back leadoff doubles in the 5th and 6th innings. Now Parra was running down the line, and Richard just stepped off and kind of ran him back to third. Most leadoff doubles did not score this season. Braves and Reds are tied, and Diamondbacks 29 times it's happened. They don't want it to go to 30.
We're slowly adding to that total.
Kubel's 0 for 2 in the ball game. Hasn't gotten the ball out of the infield. And this will be sky to center, and that's going to end this inning. Wow. Leadoff double again for the Diamondbacks, and again they do not score. 6 in the book, 6-2 Padres. His first at bat is a Los Angeles Dodger, and boom, 3-run homer. And I bet you that Dodger Stadium crowd just kept clapping. What a way to break in. It's now 5-2. Dodgers on top. Nissan Texpol. Well, the trade put the Dodgers over top in the West. 51% say yes, 47% no.
Well, he's already paying off with one swing earlier in the game.
Yes, indeed. Well, enough of that one. Let's get something going here for the Diamondbacks. Mike Zagorski comes on. He hit it off, by the way, off Josh Johnson, who has really been struggling. Mike Zagorski, 35th game. The Albers got the final 2 outs to end the 6th inning. Amarista will lead it off, and then the pitcher, Richard. Grubel should have it. No problems. And pitch one out. Join Fox Sports Arizona and the D-backs for the Going Gonzo for Kids Mystery Ball fundraiser. Call in during the August 28th D-backs game and buy a mystery autographed baseball for $50. Ball signed by legends Luis Gonzalez, Randy Johnson, along with members from this year's team. 25 of the ball packages will include a golden ticket, redeemable for great prizes. Proceeds benefiting Going Gonzo for Kids charity. August 28th, so we're just a few days away. Richard's 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts in the ball game.
Greg, after seeing that home run by Gonzalez, all that means nothing to us if we can't take care of our own here at home.
That's the bottom line.
I mean, we can keep looking at the Giants and at the Dodgers, but if we can't beat the other teams, it's not going to mean anything for us going down there to play.
Broken bat, ground ball past the pitcher. The bat almost goes out to Hill. Hill fields the baseball and throws out Richard, 2 down. And you start that road trip now with a 3-game series in LA against the Dodgers. It's 4. But first things first, as you said, coming back, winning this ball game, giving yourself a chance to win the series tomorrow, and then you got the Reds coming in. The Diamondbacks got the work cut out for them. They got 9 outs to work with, trailing by 4 here.
And those guys that just got traded over to LA will be settled in by then. They'll have a couple games under their belt.
Ground ball down to third. Cabrera actually is going to be retired on 1 pitch after seeing about 38 pitches in this previous 3 at-bats. Nice inning for Zagorski. Stretch time here at Chase.
Hi, I'm Coach Todd Graham. You're watching Sun Devil Saturday on Fox Sports Arizona. Hi, I'm Coach Todd Graham. You're watching Sun Devil Saturday on Fox Sports Arizona.
A lot of Sun Devil fans out here tonight. College football about set to start. And the Diamondbacks are hoping to start some kind of a rally here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Down by 4 to the San Diego Padres 6-2 with Clayton Richards still out there. Looking for win number 11 tonight. He's got the middle of the order. Goldschmidt, Upton, and Montero. Outside ball 1. Goldschmidt has walked and scored and lined to second base.
Well, it just seems like every time Goldie's up, he gives you quality at bat, whether he's getting a hit or not. He's working the pitcher. He's the only guy that's really seeing a lot of pitches every time he goes up there.
3-0. Well, wants as good as anything here to get a base runner. Diamondbacks need some. Richard has not walked a batter tonight. He struck out 2, giving up 4 hits. We welcome in Joe Borowski. He'll be joining us on the postgame. We'll be joining you guys actually in the postgame show, Joe. But time to get those bats going now. You know, the pitching obviously tonight had to struggle with Ian, but got to get some runs here. Generate some.
I thought Gonzo said it perfectly. Other than Goldschmidt, 14 out of 21 guys have seen 3 pitches or less. They have to start making Richard work more because, like you know, as a hitter, the more you see a pitcher, the more apt he is to make a mistake over the plate. And we saw that tonight with Ian. He made mistakes, and San Diego made him pay for it. But you'd like to see a little bit more patience at the plate.
Goldschmidt thought he'd walk, but it looked like it definitely was a strike. He's caught looking.
Yeah, pretty good pitch there. And Richard really, he's under 75 pitches right now, and you're in the bottom of the 7th inning. So really haven't made him work at all. He's really hasn't been in many jams. He got in that one jam, got that ground ball to turn the double play, an awkward double play. But other than that, he's really been cruising the whole time.
Yeah, and he's picking up right where Stoltz left off yesterday. And it seems to be, if you work down in the zone, work ahead, it seems like the Diamondbacks are just anxious to get swinging. They're not sitting back waiting for their pitch. They're going after a lot of good quality pitches down in the zone by Richard.
Upton has the inside the park home run on this his 25th birthday. 1 for 2 on the night. Last time up, he skied to the center fielder Cameron Maben. Back in the lineup after missing a few.
Boy, and even if we get those 2 runs back, we had runners in scoring position with less than 2 outs. I mean, instead of a 6-2 game, we're looking at a 6-4 maybe. The whole outcome might change. The pitcher might not be out there.
It's fouled out of play.
To me, it just seems like everybody's trying to hit the 3-run homer where there's nobody on base instead of just going up there and trying to get 1 or 2 guys on base and work the pitcher a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, home runs are great, but when you get leadoff doubles, those runs have to score. You have to get them over and get them in. And Diamondbacks have just been struggling with that this year.
Upton's going to reach here. Zangarista knocked it down. That's all he could do. I'm going to give him an infield hit.
And they should. It's his birthday.
And Gonzo, just to touch on that more about swinging for home runs. Last 2 games, Diamondbacks are 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. They haven't gotten that clutch hit when they need it.
Padres going to get their bullpen going now. Montero will be the batter. He had that double down the left field line last time up. For the Diamondbacks, their 5th hit, which is actually 1 more hit than what the Padres have in this game. But 3 of those San Diego hits were long balls. Montero fouls it back. Ian tonight, Joe, as we look at the bullpen, that is Brad Brock getting up. He looked pretty good early on, Ian Kennedy.
Yeah, he came out and he was throwing first pitch strikes. The trouble is there were a couple hitters where he threw a lot of pitches to. And in that 6th inning, it just seemed like he lost that location of his fastball. And with his pitches here, see, right here, I don't have a problem with the inside pitch. He just left it up a little bit. Here, right here, he was throwing a cutter. He just left it right down the middle, little backups cutter. And then right here, curveball, he just didn't get the break on it. Right down the middle once again. And those are the 3 pitches. If you take away that 6th inning where he just lost his command of his fastball, those are 3 pitches where last year guys weren't hitting those ones. He was getting away with those. This year, it seems like if he's missing and making a mistake, teams are making him pay for it.
Yeah, and if you leave those at this level, they're going to go a long ways as they did today.
Montero struck out. That's 2 strikeouts in the inning. Now 4 in the ball game for Richards. And that lays it up to Chris Johnson here with that runner on and 2 men out. This kid's turned into a pretty good pitcher, Richard.
He really has. He's matured. He's gained experience. Each year he just gets a little bit better and better.
He's a workhorse. We show earlier he's like 3rd or 4th in the National League in innings pitched. So he's deep in this game tonight. Only 82 pitches.
Yeah, if you're going to get deep and if you're going to lead leagues in innings pitched, you have to get a lot of short pitched innings where you're attacking the strike zone and you're getting like Arizona. They're swinging early in the count. Yeah, let you last longer in the game.
He's pitching to contact.
Sure.
He trusts his defense enough. He's got some pretty good guys out there in the middle of the field. He knows they're going to make the plays, and he's got guys in the outfield that he trusts that can run the ball down.
And the key to that, Gonzo, is he's not throwing it down the middle. He's throwing to halves, and he's getting a little sink on that fastball. So, yeah, you're exactly right. He's pitching to contact, but it's his pitches that he's getting the guys to swing.
Leaving the ball down.
Joe, let me ask you, is that tough a lot of times for a young pitcher to get him to trust that ball being hit?
Absolutely. Most times as a pitcher, especially when you're young, you're thinking that you're going to strike somebody out on an 0-0 pitch, and you're trying to make your best pitch early in the count. Whereas early in the count, you actually, a philosophy that helped me in my career was I always believed every time I faced a hitter, I was trying to get him out in 3 pitches or less. So it made me concentrate that much more on throwing strikes early in the count and not being that perfect pitch right on the corner. Instead, I broke the plate down into thirds, and I threw to the inner third, outer third.
Chris Johnson lines a single to right field. Upton will have to stop at second. The Diamondbacks got a couple of guys on here. And again, with using the 6-man rotation right now, starting rotation, the Diamondbacks a little short-handed on the bench these days. They've used Parr. They have Wheeler, Elmore, Nieves. Pitcher spot is up next, so they would have to go to a pinch hitter this late in the ball game. McDonald will bat here with 2 on and 2 out. I mean, this might be even a situation. If you add an extra player, you might consider pinch hitting for Johnny Mack, but he'll have to hit and try and get something, continue this inning.
Boy, no disrespect to the guys who they're running out off the bench, but this is where you miss that veteran guy, that savvy guy that's been around the league for a while. Doesn't get fazed by coming up in a big key situation and swings at bad pitches or tries to do too much out there.
McDonald pops it up. That should end the inning. Who wants it? Yonder Alonso? No, Mauricio. He's got it. Joe's going to stay with us through the top of the 8th inning. Padres will come to bat, and they've got a 6-2 lead. One of the 16 interactive kiosks right here at Chase Field during any Arizona Diamondbacks regular season home game. The first ever D-backs alumni exhibition game is Saturday, September 15th at Chase Field. Join us as we welcome back former players Luis Gonzalez, Brandon Webb, David DeLucci, Steve Finley, and more of your favorites. The alumni exhibition game will be played right after the Diamondbacks Giants game that starts at 5:10. You can get tickets now by calling 602-514-4400 or log on to dbacks.com/alumni. Top of the 8th inning, Mike Zagurski out there for a second inning of work. And he throws a ball to Will Venable. Joe, this I think we talked a little bit about this last night. This is not the same San Diego Padre ball club that played earlier in the season. They're a competent group right now.
And it seems the last time they visited Chase is what got them on their roll that they're playing right now. They're playing some good baseball. They're getting good quality starting pitching. And their hitting has really come around good.
Venable, Headley, and Quentin here. Well, his daddy played in the major leagues, Max Venable. Will is a bit larger than his dad, though. Got some height. Max was a little guy. Will got the height in that family. Brad Ziegler is up loosening for the Diamondbacks in the bullpen. Zagurski breezed through the 7th inning, hitting the 3 he faced.
Our bullpen's done a good job yesterday
really
and today. So
they've done good all year, Gonzo. They've really stepped up in key situations.
Yeah, Ziegler has been outstanding out there in that role that he's had. He's come in a lot of times in bases loaded situations. 14 double plays. He's played some major league relievers in that category.
He's been incredible. He's been incredible. When you think of what he's done coming in the situations that we've put him in.
He's a foul back.
And the funny thing how it works is Ziegler, he's so used now to coming in pressure situations with guys on less than 2 outs where he needs to roll over a double play. And when you start doing it and you see success in it, you just expect to be in that situation, and you almost thrive to be in that situation. And he's done such a great job this year with it.
That ball's corked into the right field corner. He's going to chase Venable and run. And he's not going to stop at second. And he will make it to third with a leadoff triple. Boy, he can fly.
He gets that triple right there out of the box. He was scooting right out of the box. He had 3 on his mind as soon as he hit the ball.
Look at him go.
Yeah, it all starts when you get that hit right out of the batter's box. He's thinking 3.
He's not even picking up the third base coach. He was digging for it the whole way.
He did not even look over there. Len Hoffman. Now the infield forced to come in with Headley at the plate. And this guy's been on fire in the month of August. And we'll get the run home. So the triple, the sac fly, and it goes to 7-2. Well, the Padres are doing the things the Diamondbacks have not been able to do. Get a man on, get him in, name the 5 Padres most consecutive successful stolen bases all time. Cabrera, Jerry Mumphrey, Dave Roberts. We got Enzo Hernandez, Cameron Maven. Kirk Gibson's going to make double switch. We see Elmore going to come in to replace McDonald. And Ziegler obviously will be coming on. He was the guy in the bullpen. Exchanging the lineup card with home plate umpire Tim Sheeta. And we'll be back with more here in the 8th. Padres rolling 7-2. Between the ages of 10 through 14, they come out tomorrow to Chase Field for the Fox Sports Arizona and Sanderson Ford Kid Cancer auditions. That's from 11:30 a.m. up until 1:30 p.m. near section 115 and 116 during the Padres Diamondbacks game. It's tomorrow. How about that?
Looks like he took care of somebody.
Yes, sir. You like to see that. And now he's on the mound here, trying to take care of the Padres. And retired Carlos Quentin and YASMANI GRANDAL. So Zagurski out of there after an inning and a third. Normally you wouldn't bring Ziegler in a ball game like this, but he was loosening. We mentioned Elmore went into the ball game at shortstop, and he's in the pitcher's spot, which will lead off in the bottom of the 8th. There's a line drive, and that's right by Hill. On into right field. Another hit for Quentin.
Yeah, Joe and I were just saying during the break, why would he even come into this game? It's a 5-run lead. So
yeah, he was warming up when it was still a 4-run lead. You understand if there's guys on, he's going to be coming in. They had the lefty Venable up first, then you had the switch hitter Headley. Unfortunately, that run wound up coming in, but you got to remember, he's already loose. He's already gotten hot. It's as if he's already pitched the game, so Gibby's going to bring him in then, because it's, if you look at it, it's like, well, this is almost a game pitch for him anyway, so let's run him out there.
He gets a strike in on Grandal.
Managing the bullpen, it's a game of cat and mouse.
Swing and a miss. Well, he's got the base runner on, setting up the double play.
Yeah, that's what he just wanted to get somebody on for himself.
He's dialed up 4 of those since July 16th.
He's working on the league lead, huh?
I mean, that's a lot of double plays for a starting pitcher, let alone a reliever, who may face 3 guys, may face even less than that. In fact, his last 20 games, he's only worked 16 2/3 innings.
Just tells you the movement he gets on his pitches, the deception that the hitter sees.
He's been a workhorse too. This is his 59th game of the year. And it seems like maybe it's just the way his ball moves, Joe, but it seems like the more he works, the more effective he is.
And you see that a lot with guys who rely on sink on their ball. The stronger they are, the worse they pitch. But when they get used a lot, it seems like their ball just has that extra sink to it.
That one got by Hill again, and 2 perfectly placed hits here off of Ziegler to start his night.
Yeah, he got the ground ball he needed. Unfortunately, it was about 5 steps to the left of Hill. Aaron Hill trying to make the diving play.
And a lot of times with a sinker ball, or you live and die with the ground ball, and sometimes they just find the holes.
And now Alonso has had a good night already. Solo home run and a 2-run single. So I mentioned the 14 double plays for Ziegler. That's 13th in the National League among all pitchers. So you got a lot of guys eating up more innings, and he's the guy who's getting more of the double plays.
Boy, and this guy Alonso just looks locked in. Yesterday hit the ball hard. Today once again his takes look good. He's in a hitter's count once again. 2 balls, no strikes.
And you're seeing a lot of this from the San Diego Padres hitters now. They have that confidence in them now. They're playing good ball, and you see day in and day out they're just getting better at bats. And it's a snowball effect. You see it with teams when they start going on streaks. They just start feeling good, and it carries over to each at bat.
Yeah, you don't want to be that weak link in that chain.
At 3, 4, 5, and 6 in their order now with Headley, Quentin, Grandal, and Alonso. That's pretty good. Swinging on 3-0, 3-1. Headley's kind of solidified that number 3 spot. All right, PS Energy All-Stars. Last couple of nights, these left-handers, 14 innings, only 2 earned runs allowed. Stoltz won last night, and Richard on his way to his 11th win here tonight, leading by 5 late. There's another walk in this ball game. Kennedy walked 4. Ziegler walks a man to load him up. Well, if ever he needs a double play, it's right now.
Yeah, and this is definitely not what Gibby wanted to see from Ziegler. He knew he had to bring him in the game because he was loose already. He was hoping he would just get 1-2 outs, not throw many pitches so he could bring him right back tomorrow. Now he's extending the innings, so now you're getting into the well, is he going to pitch 2 months where he might not be able to pitch tomorrow? So this is a little, he wants him to end it quickly.
Cameron Maben, a tough guy to double. Speed up there. 0 for 3 in the ball game.
Boy, Maben's been very aggressive at the plate. He doesn't wait around for anything. He's swinging. First pitch seems like every time up.
2 of the 3 solo home runs hit against Kennedy were on the first pitch tonight. The one that Alonso hit, he was down in the count. And Kennedy, well, let's face it, he came into this ballgame with only 38 walks, so they knew he was going to be around the plate early. And they were jumping on pitches. The inning, though, that got Ian in trouble was the 6th.
Yes.
With the 3 walks and the hit batter. And only 1 hit.
Boy, this is a tough guy to double up. He's gonna have to hit it hard and right at somebody.
We're right back to the pitcher. Let's see the middle infielder's back here. Ziegler's run the count even at 2-2.
And not only that, his pitch counts now at 16. So
2 hits and a walk since he's come on. It seems like we had a lot of foul balls.
A lot of foul balls. We haven't been able to put a guy away early. Seems like they've done a great job of just fouling those tough pitches off.
Well, the Padres tonight have had 4 walks and a hit batter. That's 5 freebies and 3 have scored. Oh boy, 3-2.
You see Maben doing a good job of spoiling those quality pitches. Now he's worked the count to 3-2. Nowhere to go. You know he has to come over the plate now.
And Ziegler wanted it, didn't get it from Tim Shida. Forces in a run. He'd be the judge. It looked like it might have had a piece of the plate. But it was not called. So back-to-back walks. Another run to make it 8-2. And that's the second walk in this ballgame with the bases loaded.
Yeah, that's not a recipe for victory right there. When you're walking guys in, there's no defense for it. Make him put it in play. If he hits a double in the gap, he hits a double in the gap. At least you have a chance to make that catch. You have no opportunity to make an out on that walk right there.
Hitters love that. They get a run batted in, no AB charge to him. Alexi Amarista now. This little guy can run.
Another tough guy to double up.
Sure. Yeah. So the Padres have made the absolute most tonight of what's been given to them. Along with their 7 hits, they have received a total of 6 walks and a hit by pitch in this ballgame. Upton lining up now to make a throw to the plate. See if he can nail Grandal. Here comes the throw. And he missed the plate. Now he got the plate. Safe the call by Shida. He didn't make the call right away. But then indicated that he got the plate. Sacrifice fly for Amarista.
So Justin Upton got behind the throw. Nice strong throw to the plate.
That late call by Sheeta right there, I thought maybe he had missed the plate, but you see him right there get the corner of it.
And really a great slide if you think about it.
Nice play by Johnson on the tough hop, and he gets it. All right, Joe, we'll talk to you after the ball game. Joe Borowski with us. Padres add to their lead now. They're comfortably on top 9-2.
Eighth, Diamondbacks down in this game to the Padres by the score of 9-2. Jody Jackson here to update you on a couple of guys on the disabled list currently for the Arizona Diamondbacks, but as of today, both of them eligible to come off. First is shortstop Willie Bloomquist. He was actually eligible to come off the DL yesterday. Now, he played in a game at Salt River Fields on Thursday, had a triple and drove in 3 runs, but it was actually a setback for him. His back just did not feel right. Now, Kirk Gibson said he feels better today, but there's no timetable for his return. They just want to work him up to, quote, get him over the top and get that strained lower back better. Then Josh Colmenter, who's been on the DL due to ulcers, he threw great the other day, according to Gibson. 3 innings, 2 hits, 0 runs, struck out 4, and no walks. He'll have one more outing on Tuesday, guys, but both guys certainly can help the Diamondbacks right now.
All right, thank you, Jody. It's good to see Josh there on the bench. That was a serious situation that he had to deal with. Kristen Orphy has gone into left field to replace Carlos Quentin here in the bottom of the 8th inning. There's Willie. I had a long talk with him before the ball game, and he said it's just one of those things. He said he's had it before, but it's never kind of come back like it has. He's had it and he's gotten rid of it, and now this one's lingering. Elmore batting for the first time in this ball game. He came into the double switch in the last half inning. Richard's still out there. Why not? Well, he's pitched in this. Scattered 6 hits. The only runs against him, the 2-run inside the park home run by Upton. Woods at that time, Luis Gonzalez gave the Diamondbacks a 2-1 lead. It looked good at that moment.
Yeah, that seemed like it was a long time ago. Seemed like yesterday. Well, Richard looks like he's just smiling, having a good time up there, and you can do that when you're up 9-2.
Elmore draws a walk.
Well, this isn't what's going to make your manager happy.
Well, that's his second walk of the night. Walk Goldschmidt. He scored in the second inning. Top of the order now. Cristiano for 3. Since Willie's been out too, the leadoff spot's been a bit of a problem for the Diamondbacks. Willie had pretty much manned that spot this season. Ryan Brock, who was up earlier, is back up in the bullpen. Diamondback bullpen phone is rung. Elmore is retired on a double play, a liner to third. 2 outs in the inning.
Well, it just seems like the Diamondbacks can't catch a break right now.
Well, that, and also, as you talked about, Luis, getting leadoff doubles in back-to-back innings in the 5th and 6th, and not getting that man home. So when they do have something good happen, it doesn't translate into scoring runs. Now Aaron Hill's 0 for 3, and really has not had a good look at Clayton Richard all night. That's it pretty well. Did he get it all? Yep. Number 19 for Aaron Hill. Now the Diamondbacks have a run here. Make it 9-3. Fulton home run. Another $150 going to Central Arizona Mountain Rescue Association. He saw that one well, didn't he?
Yeah, that was a nice swing by Aaron Hill. That was only the 10th pitch he's seen all night for Aaron Hill.
Now Kubel. So number 19 on the season for the Diamondbacks second baseman. Kubel in the air for Chase Headley. Ends the 8th, the run, but you're still way behind. You're down 6 as you go to the 9th. 9-3 San Diego. So the Padres and Clayton Richard 3 outs away from winning their 6th straight. They're up 9-3 as we go to the top of the 9th inning. We have a new Diamondback pitcher, Brian Shaw. He follows Kennedy, Albers, Zagurski, and Ziegler to the mound. Shaw worked an inning last night, allowed a hit. No damage done. Everett Cabrera comes to the plate to lead things off. And he swings at the first pitch and grounds out. Well, his last 2 at-bats, he had swung at the first pitch after extended first trips to the plate. Our tools of the trade here, presented by Ram Trucks. Clayton Richard has been in command tonight, hasn't he?
Yeah, he really has. He's gone after hitters and been effective. Got in a couple of jams with some leadoff doubles and was able to get out of them. So stayed under 100 pitches and went out and did his job. Very frustrating for the Diamondbacks.
He's in line to win his 11th, and Kennedy in line to lose his 11th.
Well, I was just thinking back to Cabrera, the leadoff hitter. He swung at the first pitch there, but you think about the damage he's done. He's 0 for 3 on the day, got 2 walks. As he flies out here to left field, Venable for the second out of the inning. He's got 2 walks, but he saw 23 of 103 of Ian's pitches, so that's almost 25% of the pitches. So he made, by himself, he saw Ian Kennedy work 25% of all his pitches up there.
And in the biggest inning of the night for the Padres, when they got that 3 in the 6th, he led off the inning with a walk in the 6th. And that's the inning where Ian walked 3 and hit a batter and gave up 3 runs. So 2 quick outs. Here's Headley. Shaw's going to have a really nice season now. And the Diamondbacks one last crack at it. Richard's night is over. They'll go to the bullpen here, I believe. We'll find out when we come back. By Valley Chevy. Who's your everyday hero? Nominate an everyday hero at valleychevy.com or facebook.com/Valley Chevy. Hustling on down the highway here, huh? We're going to go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Diamondbacks will try and hustle some runners on base here. We have a new pitcher. Corey Burns takes over for Clayton Richard, who worked the front 8. Was outstanding tonight. For Burns' 6th appearance of the year. Goldschmidt, Upton, and Montero against him. Well, the hits are even at 7 apiece, but most runs belong to the Padres, 9 of them.
Yeah, and the reason the Padres are up, they've manufactured their runs. I mean, they got a triple, sac fly, couple walks, big base hit. Of course, the 3 solo shots helps.
Goldzilla is here tonight. Goldschmidt has walked and scored. 0 for 2 of the other 2 plate appearances. Well, the bats picked the wrong time to go silent here. Last night the Diamondbacks were blank. Only the 3 tonight. That's hit well to right, but Venable's going to get it. Wow. Just like we promised early in the game, Miller Time brought to you by Miller Lite. This put the Diamondbacks on top of the second inning.
Boy, and this really excited the fans. Right off the right center field wall, kicks away from Maben. Justin Upton for an inside of the park homer. Boy, and that really rejuvenated the team, got everybody excited.
But then right away, the Padres get a solo home run with 2 outs in the 4th inning to tie it. And the momentum that had shifted to the Diamondbacks got one back over to the Padres, and they haven't looked back since.
Well, you're exactly right. They really haven't been able to muster anything up. Every time they get a runner on, they've either hit into a double play or couldn't get the runner in with less than 2 outs.
Two outs in the ninth. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to take advantage of new low pricing and see every D-backs out-of-market game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit dbacks.com to order. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Well, I have to say, in watching Upton run tonight, that ground ball down to third, sprinting down the line, and the inside the park home run, I would have to say he's not having any lingering effects of that hammy.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he has any effects from that. Trainers did a great job of getting him back out on the field.
Montero last chance to keep this one going. Roger Klein concert coming up after the ball game, so most, if not all, will stick around for that one. Montero tonight, 1 for 3, a double. Fly ball deep right center field. Did he get enough? Maben back at the wall. He's got him. This one ends. Montero made a bid, but it was caught. That's kind of the way this one's gone tonight. Padres win their 2nd straight over the Diamondbacks in this series after sweeping them back in July. Post-game show coming up next. Final score again. Padres beat the Diamondbacks here at 9-3.